Welcome to the show.
Let's talk about headscarfs, that's not even the right term for it, is it?
Well, I think there are various different terms.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's the hijab, the burqa, niqab.
What's that last one? Haven't heard of that last one. What was it?
Hijab, niqab,
Niqab.
burqa.
The hijab is just this.
Okay.
And then there's
The burqa is the postman?
Look,
Yeah.
I don't know the difference
Okay.
between all of them. I have not done that research. That wasn't allocated
That
to me
seems pretty
researching.
important.
Well, okay. Jono, go back to China.
Go back to China.
Go back to China.
He's going to be really disappointed.
China.
No.
But so that's what it's been in the EU. They went to the European Court of Justice, I think it was,
Sounds big.
which is in Luxembourg.
Hello.
Oh.
Which you're
Yeah.
a lawyer, right?
Not yet.
Well,
I'm getting
you're
admitted.
in the field of law.
I'm getting admitted. I've done my law degree.
Is that huge?
Well, this decision is huge in that it came out of two cases.
Right.
So there was this first case,
Yeah.
and there was this lady.
Yeah.
And it actually makes me really sad when I read about this judgment because I thought, where is society heading? It is just, and
Tell
it
me
looks
what
like I'm
happened.
being really sarcastic.
I'm dying to
but I'm
know.
being quite serious.
Please tell me what happened.
Take us there.
I'm taking you there. Just patience.
Let it breathe.
So
Chris.
there were these two cases, and that's how it went to the European Court of Justice. So this one lady, she was fired from her job, and the company had a policy about neutral dress code. So you couldn't wear anything that had a political, philosophical, or religious symbol. Anything that represents a political, religious, or philosophical symbol.
That is so broad.
I thought you wanted me to finish.
Sorry, keep going.
But
Yeah.
It's such a stupid rule. Like,
Please make some speculation.
okay, let me make some speculation. Like, you can't wear red or blue because it's like the two
well,
different parties.
we're going to
That's
get there.
communism.
We're going to
Exactly.
get there.
Hey, we're
I
speaking
know.
to the legal team here.
Please continue.
Sorry.
And so and this is a very watered down version, but this is what happened. And so because of this policy, they fired her, and they said that because she wasn't complying with their policy of dressing in a neutral manner.
Burqa or a hijab?
Hijab, I believe.
Oh, okay.
But still, it was a religious
Okay.
dressing, and she was fired. And so that was then this was going to be discussed at the European Court of Justice. And then there was another lady from France. And so that the first lady was from Belgium. The second lady who brought this case was from France. And she worked as in an IT consultancy firm. And she went out to a client to consult them and to provide them with advice. And there was a complaint that came from the client that said they were embarrassed having her there on their premises providing this advice because of her dress wear. And so the European Court of Justice was looking at this and whether or not it forms discrimination, and they ruled that the first instance where she was fired because of the policy, the dressing in a neutral way policy, that wasn't discrimination, that is okay.
Okay.
But the other one
Yeah.
was not okay. You can't just fire someone because a client disapproves of their client. So, of their headwear. So basically what's coming out of the Court of Justice is that if you have this policy that to dress in a in a neutral dress kind of fashion.
Pre-existing policy?
Pre-existing policy.
I should be a lawyer.
You
should.
Objection.
But, if you have this policy, then you can implement it, and people who do wear a hijab or a headwear, and this would apply to, Sikhs who wear a turban, or Jewish men that wear a kippah, or, a Christian person that wears a cross.
Wow.
What's a
Do you need
kippah?
me?
What's a kippah? The little hat?
Oh, right.
Yep.
Right.
So and they're saying that it's, you've got the right-wing people in the EU, in Europe, that are saying this is fantastic, like it's this policy, it's not discriminatory because it's not direct discrimination, you're not directly discriminating because this policy applies to everybody.
Yeah, it's not one group.
But I think it's indirect discrimination because you're indirectly discriminating against people who profess a religious belief, who want to, dress in a way that reflects their
and especially
religious
against
beliefs.
ones that require or prescribe an external sort of thing. Like when it's just a white Christian, like I can put my cross in the inside or just not even wear one.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really affect me at all.
But it's a pre-existing policy. So why would you go and get a job at a place where you know this policy exists?
Because jobs are often quite hard to get. You can't just say, oh,
And
I'm not going to go.
And I don't even think that's
places.
the question. I think it's should that policy exist? Because in a climate where appearance and identity is such a political battlefield, shouldn't we be supporting the minorities and rather than promoting prejudice?
And it does open a door into hiring people who aren't Muslim, which when there's so much immigration in the Europe, especially not the Europe in Europe,
The Europe.
In the Europe
At the
at the UN.
like there's obviously a lot
UN,
of displaced
UN, the
Muslim
capital of the
people
Europe.
looking for work.
I don't
And if
think
it's
the
like-
UN's going
It's
to
like you can't wear a hijab here. It's like, and then she's like, I have to, and it's like, then you can't work here.
Mhm.
That's like prejudice before you even get hired.
Yeah.
Would a lot
Yeah,
of
but
companies then be quickly just putting these on the bottom of all their contracts?
Yeah, I think I didn't read much about what the effect is going to be in terms of those policies, but I guess if the EU is saying we're going to implement, if you've got this pre-existing policy, then it isn't considered discrimination if you fire someone because they're wearing a hijab.
Right.
How many other companies, if, that company that fired the lady because she was,
Embarrassing
the client was embarrassed, maybe they might implement this policy and then that is going to
anyone
affect.
could. And then
But what if, okay, so say I start a business and I want everybody in my business
Let's
to
speculate.
dress a certain way.
Yep.
But these people are saying, because of my religion, I cannot dress in that manner.
Yeah.
So I say, okay, if you want to work here, you have to dress in this way.
Yeah.
And they say, well, I can't dress like that. And you say, well, don't work here.
But I think, does it affect the way your business operates or does it affect the way they're doing their job
Well,
if they wear...
As a business
they're-
owner, that it doesn't matter whether it affects their performance or not, because for me, I want people who work for my business to look a certain way.
So
and I have the freedom of that choice because it's my business.
You want them to look
So
white.
you just want a business where you exclude people that have religious beliefs and wear external headwear.
No. Yeah, Chen, support yourself here. He wants them to appear in a professional, traditionally
So then are
professional
you
manner.
saying that a person that wears a headscarf is not in a traditional or is not in a professional manner?
It's not perceived as being professional, yes.
But so why would you want to perpetuate that kind of mentality, which is...
You don't. You just want to make money. It's a business.
So you would rather make money and promote prejudice?
Not us.
It's not
businesses.
prejudice.
You.
Yes.
It's not
You and your
prejudice. It's if I own a business and I want my business to have a certain look and I want people dressed in a certain way.
But you need to think about what's behind that look and why you want it to look like that. And you want it to look like that because you can sell more stuff.
And
not just that, is for example, say I own,
Or you just want your employees to wear weird stuff. 'cause
maybe
you're
I do.
Kinky like
maybe
that.
not kinky like that, but even if it's like a uniform, or say you walk into work and I want everybody in a polo shirt with a backwards hat on because that's our image.
Yeah.
That's up to me because it's my business.
Yeah, but yeah, it's up to you. But it doesn't affect the work that's being done, and that
Yes, it
amounts to
does.
discrimination. How?
Because
How does wearing a headscarf
because
affect how
your
they do their
appearance
work?
is everything.
it depends on the
It
job.
affects image.
Yeah.
So, what jobs would you say it would affect if you were wearing a headscarf?
The jobs where the boss doesn't want you to wear a headscarf.
But that doesn't affect your application of doing the job. Like for my job, for example,
Salespeople, people won't want to approach someone in a hijab possibly because they're prejudiced.
But I think creating this law is actually just going to promote it. We're not going to fix the issue.
Absolutely, it is. We're not going to fix the
So-
issue, but it's hard for.
What's the issue?
A business owner just wants to make
people
money.
being afraid of
So
people.
the people's prejudice is people's prejudice, and it's not like it is up to every single person to make that difference, to make that change.
Yeah.
But when you're a business owner just trying to pay the bills,
That's right.
It's very difficult to think that way.
But I think it's very slow progress.
Yeah.
But I know for the firm that I work at, diversity is a massive issue that
It
is really promoted. And I think if you are going to, I think, yes, I understand what you're saying. I definitely don't agree with it,
Yeah.
but I understand what you're saying in terms of, it affects, if you own a business and you want it to be this kind of way, et cetera, et cetera. But you're essentially just discriminating against people because of the religious beliefs that they hold. Even though they're religious, they're not coming to your workplace and trying to convert every person to Islam.
Absolutely, it's wrong.
The difference is, I don't think businesses are saying we don't want to hire you because you're Muslim. or because you're Sikh or because you're Christian, is we don't want people dressed in a certain way to work here. And you can say, yes, but I have to dress this way because of my religion. To which the response is just gonna be, well, that's your problem. That's not my problem. Like, I want people at my workplace dressed in a certain way. I don't care what their beliefs are. You can believe anything you want.
But you need to go to the next level, Ye Chan, and think, why do you want them to dress that way?
Because maybe that's just the look I want.
So how would you feel if someone said, well, I'm going to have a business and I just don't want any Asian people because that just doesn't swing with my business?
That's fine. Then I won't get a job there, would I?
But imagine if like 90% of places in Australia did that, and already it's so difficult to get a job. And they said, well, you know what? You're Asian and you're kind of going to make it difficult for our customers, so screw you. Even though you being Asian actually has nothing to do with your job performance. It has nothing to do with it. There's one area that people overlook where this is very common and no one seems to care. If you walk into an Asian restaurant, trust me, because I know the languages that they speak, there's like...
Don't. We just discovered that.
Yes, I do.
Discovered that you don't.
You don't even know
You walk into an Asian restaurant and you expect to be served by an Asian person.
No.
If an Indian guy brought you your Chinese food, how would you feel?
I think that's completely different because you're buying Chinese food.
Yeah, so does Indian guy can't cook Chinese food?
But I wouldn't say I don't want it because an Indian guy served
No, but you'd
Chinese
be like, this is
food.
strange.
No, but...
There should be a Chinese guy cooking.
But I'm not going to someone and saying you should fire him because he's Indian.
Yes, people come to you and say, I'm not buying this Japanese car off this Korean man.
It's not that. It's if I own, say, a Japanese sushi train, I would want all the chefs there to look Asian. And I think the reason being, going back to what Chris is saying, when people walk into a Japanese restaurant, I think they would feel like it's more authentic if there was...
And I'm saying that that's bad.
Why is that bad?
Because that's us thinking that people need to look a certain way.
Yeah.
I'm judging people instantly based on what they look like.
People don't need to look a certain way.
So far from episode 1.
I don't want to buy something from this guy in a hijab. I don't want to buy Japanese food from this man who isn't Japanese. Mm-hmm. And that's my prejudice.
Yeah, but it's not that people don't need to look the same. People do look different. And that's just fact. Like, we need to stop trying to... Basically, what we're trying to do is, if you like go into a Japanese restaurant, there should be a multicultural mixture of stuff. And it's like, no, because Japanese people look Japanese.
What if I want to work there?
That you're probably not going to get hired.
Do you really think that people are going to stop going to a Chinese restaurant because a Sri Lanka person works there?
It could affect it. I don't know. But that's up to the boss's decision. If I own that business, that's my decision to make.
Anyway, sum that up, because we're running short on time. It was good talk, though. I feel like it's... I didn't say anything.
I thought this was going to go a different way. I thought it was like for Banderburger, like usually it's like security concerns, like balaclavas and motorcycle helmets.
That's another concern.
That's something else.
But I think when it comes down to it, it's a lot easier to lean into prejudice than it is to be counter prejudice, especially in business sense.
Absolutely.
So you can see where business owners are coming from, but morally, I think you obviously don't want them to do that.
And then that's why like individuals have to stand up and do something. Like these cases are these cases. Things are going to happen. This makes it easier
huge course
to
sets
not.
a precedent, and huge case sets a precedent.
Yeah,
the president.
The precedent.
Is there a new president
of the US?
Precedent.
Anyway, that's enough of that.
Enough.
Let's.
Yeah, Chan. Speculate.
Now,
What am I speculating?